The movie begins with Nathan saying that he kind of skipped the class reunions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you enjoy class reunions, or are you like Nathan and skipped them?
I've never been to a formal class reunion, but I do. That said, I go to. My kids actually go to the school that I went to growing up, so and a lot of the people who are my age who I was in school with wound up subsequently sending their kids there. So it was kind of like a school reunion every day, bringing our kids to school. Yeah.
And the Nathan and Jerry also discuss at the beginning about being nostalgic or not being nostalgic about the past.
Mm-hmm.
Are you more team Nathan or more team Jerry? Are you nostalgic or not so nostalgic?
I think I'm in the middle. I mean, I think I mean, I don't deny my past, or I don't have any, but I try to live in the present.
And Mary gets asked in school the question, what is life? How would you answer that question?
I don't know. That's a really big question. I'd have to spend some time thinking about it. I'm not really sure, but it certainly, I know that one of the things that's most important to me in life is the time that I spend with my family and the people that I love.
So in Dawn, she's kind of dealing with the fact that people have the conception of her. They still see Miss New Jersey in her.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think why people seem to have a hard time to get rid of a role they don't play anymore since 20 years?
I think that the one thing that I thought was really interesting in the movie was the questions it raised about identity and the conversation about how we get each other wrong. I think that sometimes people get branded in a certain way, and it's sort of easy to see one another in very superficial black and white ways. We're introduced to Dawn as a character in the film as a contestant in a beauty pageant, I think that sometimes those things become sort of, people get stamped with those kind of generalized, they get qualified in very general ways. I think we're still guilty of doing that. I think that sort of runs rampant in our culture, actually, seeing each other in very black and white ways that lack complexity or real understanding or compassion.
So, and the parents are trying to stop Mary from seeing something horrible in TV.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that TV or the news are too explicit sometimes, or do you believe it's important to be honest about reality?
I think that's a big question, and she's very young at that age. I think it's very. It depends if you're talking about children or if you're talking about adults. I mean, I think that truth is important, and as opposed to denial, and understanding and awareness. So I absolutely support that, and don't believe in censorship. But I think that some things are certainly too complicated for children to see.
Dawn and Seema their world is falling apart.
Yeah.
But they always have a glimpse of hope. They hope for better times. So Dawn is trying to get a new beginning.
Uh-huh.
What do you think how important it is to always hope for new beginnings, even if you feel like that the life is against you?
Wow, that's well, they do it in very different ways. I mean, I think that's a very big question, very difficult, because it's very hard to speak in very general terms, because everyone's experiences are very different and everyone's circumstances are very different. So it's kind of like putting out a blanket statement that may not apply to everyone, I feel like that's kind of risky. Certainly, speaking personally, I try to remain, aware of the ways in which I'm fortunate and all the time, and to have gratitude and appreciation and awareness of that.
And finally, this is the first movie that Eugen directed.
Mm-hmm.
Were you able to help him out a little bit?
I don't think he really needed help. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be presumptuous enough to try and help him. I've never directed a movie myself, but we had a really nice collaboration. I think that he really encouraged all of his crew and his cast to share themselves, to share their ideas and ask questions and to contribute. He was very supportive, and so it was a nice experience working with him.